Who are you?
Whoever you want me to be.
Don't say I never gave you anything.
It's feeling epic.
3 words. 8 letters.
I remember everything.
Welcome back to Previously on Teen TV. Oh my God, I didn't say my hello.
You didn't.
I already messed it up. Well, hello. And welcome back to Previously on Teen TV. I'm Jillian Benani.
I'm Claire Wojciechowski.
And today we have a very special episode for you. We are doing a best friends draft.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Claire are each going to draft 5 pairs of best friends. And in the end, we're going to reveal who will be at our lunch table.
I am excited. I think anytime you and I compete in this way, it gets a little feisty, it gets brutal. So
We love it. We
know.
love the competition.
We do.
And I can't wait to see who's at my exclusive lunch table.
Oh, exclusive.
Exclusive. I can't wait to see like if ours differ or if we're like picking similar people. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I know. I think we'll have some overlap, but not completely.
Well, it will be interesting of like what types of like friends we choose because I feel like on these shows we get a lot of like different types of friendships that we see.
Right. We get some folks that have been best friends since childhood, and so they start the show with this established relationship. Some people like meet in like high school and become friends over the course of the show. Sometimes there's like a traumatic event that bonds them together. Sometimes it's just people who've never crossed paths before, and all of a sudden they are in a class or a whatever together and they become friendly.
And then we get, you know, the unlikely pairings. Like maybe they're opposites, but they make a really good like friendship pair. That's like one of my favorites.
I was going to
for
say,
sure.
those are some of my favorite pairings for sure.
And then we have, you know, the Dawson's Creek platonic soulmates.
I mean, you know, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
It should just be called Dawson's Creek platonic soulmates. Like you have to, if you're going to say platonic soulmates, you have to put Dawson's Creek in front of it.
Fair
Yeah.
enough, yeah.
They invented that.
They did.
But yeah, lots of different types of friendships. I'm excited to talk about all of them and see kind of like who are like favorite, like best friends pairings.
Yeah.
In some cases, groups.
Yeah.
Small groups are allowed as long as, you know, there's not like an obvious pair in there.
Right. Okay, yes.
Should we get started?
Yeah, do we want to establish the rules of the draft?
Yes, the rules of the draft.
Yes, serious.
The rules are, so we're each going to take turns. And once a friendship is drafted, that friendship is out of play.
Exactly.
So, you know, they're done.
Yes. And as you said, we can do a group, but it has to be like, it's the group, there are no pairings that can be extracted from the friendship group.
Yeah.
And as you said, friends to lovers, not eligible. So
No, that's a couple.
Dawson and Joey, not possible because they do become a couple sort of briefly. Or do you want to get into the semantics of...
No, I think we should. It's like, if there is like a fandom that ships them to be together, they're out.
Right, okay,
Well,
fair.
that's no, because people love to ship friendships. I'm sorry, I worded that
Do you mean like
very
if there's like
wrong.
a vibe, like if they make out in like a serious way?
Yes, let's do
Like
that.
when-
I think like with Dawson and Joey though, I feel like I'm allowing them in the sense of like they're not endgame. Like, but I feel like they're the
Well-
only example that I'm thinking of. Like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Stefan and Elena, like we're never friends. Like that doesn't count.
No, that doesn't count. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I feel like Dawson and Joey are like the one example, the one exception to the rule.
Right, because Stefan and Caroline were friends to lovers.
That doesn't count.
They're not eligible.
They were endgame.
That's okay. I see what you're saying. I got what you're saying, yeah. I mean, Kevin Williamson may beg to differ on that, but I
Well-
understand that they don't end up together. Ultimately,
I think I
yes.
just never took the relationship that seriously.
Well, yeah, because we're Pacey stands in this house.
Yeah. I just feel like that's the Dawson's Creek exception.
Okay, so Dawson and Joey are eligible for the draft.
But there's some friends that I'm thinking of that have like kissed in more of like maybe a jokey way or something that's allowed. So I
Okay.
don't want to say no kissing rule because that's not fun.
Okay, you know what? We'll get into this as we go, I think. I
Yeah.
feel like you've got some pairs on your mind that you might want to be pulling,
Yeah.
and we'll have to see how this goes.
I think you know in the heart of hearts what I mean. Just read my mind at this point.
Okay.
So yes. So to say the rules again, we are looking for friends. Okay. So not friends that turn to lovers that turn to endgame. But if you were friends who like have made out, that's allowed.
Okay. If you decide you're better off as friends.
Yes,
That's allowed.
The correct
Okay.
way to word it.
Wonderful.
There we
Great.
go. Yeah.
Okay.
Still a friendship.
Got it. Should we get started?
Yes, let's do it.
All right.
Jesse, are you going to let us know who can go first? Are you going to give us a little trivia?
Okay, so to decide who's going to go first, I'm going to give you a trivia question. And I just looked this up on IMDb about 10 minutes ago.
Love it. She's prepared.
All right. Can you name the 3 WB television shows from the late 90s, early 2000s that said the word shit on television? I'm not going to tell you if you're right. You each
Right.
give me
Okay.
3, and then I'll tell you
Wow.
who's
Okay.
got the most right.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
This is hard.
This is really hard.
Yeah.
I feel like you can at least get.
I know. I'm thinking. I'm thinking over here. I
right.
mean, I know which, like, I'm between like 4 different shows right now, so I'm trying to eliminate one. All right. I'm going to go with Dawson's Creek, Buffy, and Felicity.
Okay, Claire.
I was going to say the same, but I will change it to Dawson's Creek, Felicity, Roswell.
Dang it. You both only have 1.
Oh my God, only one?
Wow.
Okay, wow.
Do we have to keep guessing?
Somebody's got to guess at least the
okay.
second one.
Well, so we both said Dawson's Creek and Felicity. So it's
Yeah.
one of those.
And you said Roswell.
I said Roswell.
And so
And you said
it's not
Buffy.
Roswell.
Or Buffy.
Not Buffy. Now I feel like it's lightning round to see who can get
I
one
know, I know.
first.
I'm forgetting all the shows that were on at that
I
time.
know. I'm not good under pressure.
Charmed.
No.
I knew it wasn't Charmed, but I just-
Everwood.
Yes. that's
Oh, nice! All right, congratulations. What's the answer?
The
Yeah, what
Dawson's
is it?
Creek, Everwood, and One Tree Hill.
One Tree Hill says it.
Oh my God.
I was like-
Interesting. I cannot believe that I wasn't thinking One Tree Hill.
I
think
crossed my
I
mind,
was
but I was
just
like, they
thinking-
didn't say that.
I think I was just thinking like that's the second wave of like WB shows, so I like wasn't really like thinking. I was thinking it
'Cause
was too late or
I
something.
feel like I think of that as more of a CW, even though it started as
Yeah.
WB.
when did
in
they
the
say
early
shit?
2000s.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, we can, yeah.
I don't know. I don't have that much detail.
I know.
I
We can look
I
this up
literally
later.
saw it in the trivia section of
Dawson's
IMDb,
Creek.
and I was like, that works.
I'm gonna have to
Everwood, One Tree
rewatch
Hill.
now.
Oh my gosh.
To see when they say shit. It's gonna be like in the pilot or something.
Probably.
Yeah.
Peyton's gonna be like, "What the shit, Nathan?"
Yeah, not even in an authentic way.
Yeah, no, that's what it's gonna be. All right, I'm first up. I'm starting the draft. Okay, my first draft pick is drumroll for number 1 draft pick. I'm gonna go with, this might be a little shocking, the Pogues.
Really?
And by Pogues, I mean John B, JJ, and Pope. I'm sorry to the gals
Oh,
who come in
okay.
later. I'm going original Pogues.
But, you're not including Key.
No.
Okay, all right.
No, I'm not including Key. She was a kook first. And then
Fair
she
enough,
came in
fair
later.
enough.
I mean, she could join whatever, but she's still on the play then if,
Yeah.
you want to take her up. But no, I'm going with my 3 original Pogues, true Pogues.
Okay.
I want to get in some trouble with my Pogues. Like, I want them to take me out on one of these boats. Yeah. Take me out on an adventure, and then, we get into some trouble.
Yeah.
A day out on the water. Like, what a dream, It wouldn't be boring, that's for sure.
No, you would always be having fun,
Yeah.
living that Pogue life.
Yeah, I
Okay.
want to live the Pogue life. That's why I'm drafting the Pogues first.
Okay.
And, I definitely feel like I'd be the one that's like, I don't know, guys. Like, should we, rob this drug dealer? I'm not really sure about it. And they'd be like, come on, let's go. And I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
So just something a little different for me.
Yeah, sure.
But, I want to live that Pogue life on the water, looking for gold. just with those three boys.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
clearly didn't have many male friends in high school that I'm drafting them first.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to pick, I could be really mean here, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to
You
stay
can
true.
do whatever you want.
No, I'm going to stay true to who I am, and I'm going to pick Scott and Styles from Teen Wolf.
Oh, good one.
I think their friendship is just so, like, they say this to each other. Styles says this, I think, in season 3 when he's like, "You're my brother." And there's like a lot of really heavy dramatic moments. It's a lot of life and death stakes going on, and they are always there for each other, showing up for each other. Even when it's like more of an emotional situation and not like we're fighting the supernatural, like they are on each other's sides always, no matter what. And there is a brief moment when, Styles is keeping something from Scott, but they work through it, they work it out, they get past it because they are like, they're just best friends. They're like, yeah, they're brothers. And I love that for them. I love some solid male friendship.
They are one of the best like friendships that we see on these shows.
Yeah.
Like they are like always there for each other. I do just like really love their friendship. They're also just like fun together and like funny and just like have a really like good dynamic that is always like fun to watch.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. We both started off with male friendships.
I was literally about to be like, I'm so disappointed.
I mean, honestly, again, though, I want to be clear. I have never had a straight male friend in my life. So some of us are living in fantasy over here, okay?
Some of our mutual straight male friends are going to be upset to hear you say that.
Well,
I mean, like, I can think of one, so.
they're not listening.
Fair enough. I think, though, the reason why, for me, it's more like, you don't see, like, emotional, like, depictions of men and boys on TV and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm thinking of Beverly Hills 90210, the OG teen drama, and, like, they were male friends, but they weren't as, like, expressive in the way that they cared about each other. It was, and so I think it's nice to have depictions for people, for whoever's watching these shows of, like, teenage boys that are, like, and can process their emotions and speak about them and are not afraid to, like, really show up for each other.
Those Pogues are also showing their emotions, I feel like.
Yeah.
Definitely. Loyal to each other and can, hug and cry together.
Yeah,
So.
we love that.
Yeah. Okay, so my next draft pick, this is a different type of friendship than the Pogues. I am going to draft Jack and Jen from Dawson's Creek.
Okay.
I mean, I think this is honestly the best friendship in Dawson's Creek.
It is the best.
And probably the most true to like myself in my real life.
Really? Explain why.
Well, I love a gay man, okay? But honestly, though, I do just like love seeing Jack and Jen together. I mean, I feel like they really are always there for each other. And like throughout the span of the show, like in the future, we know that like Jack is like still there for Jen. They're still very close. Raises her daughter.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they, help each other like grow together. They each kind of like have their own like stuff going on, but like you always see them be supportive of each other, and just kind of like go through it together. And when they were living together at Graham's, which is like some of my favorite scenes with them, like, they just like have this like really good chemistry together as friends. And I just feel like, they really kind of end up more becoming family throughout the years too. And it's just like such like funny moments together too, which I think brought some like levity to like everything that they were like going through together. So rewatching Dawson's Creek, I'm just like, God, Jack and Jen, like this was such a good pairing together.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they never really had them go through like huge fights together too. Where like, I mean, I know like, especially when Andy like had the issue with like
with
taking the ex.
Right, and he blames Jen, even though it's not Jen's fault.
They moved through it. They got past it. I was happy that they always kind of like kept them together instead of having this like big blowout where they're not friends for like half a season. Like we needed those two together. We needed them. So
right, they are the best friendship on the show.
Yeah,
for sure. And yeah, I love them too. I had them on my list, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's all right. They were further down, so I'm still in good shape.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Are you about to take one of mine right now?
I don't know. Let's find out. For my number 2 pick, I am going to go with Stefan and Lexi from the Vampire Diaries.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. I mean, great friendship.
I think we love I don't know if maybe they are platonic soulmates. I could see them as platonic soulmates.
I would definitely say that about them.
You know, like Lexi finds Stefan shortly after he's become a vampire. She teaches him how to do it, how to become a vampire and not to be so self-loathing and not to be a ripper, and pulls him out of a dark state and continues to show up for him throughout the course of his, many decades. And then, which makes it all the more heartbreaking when she dies so early on in season 1. It is devastating.
It's so rough. I hate it so much.
I know.
Bye, Damon.
I know. Oh, I know. Believe
he
me.
had his reasons.
Right, but it's hard because she's sort of, like the only person that can really pull him back.
Yeah.
Because Damon can't do that and Elena, hasn't figured that out yet. But thankfully, we get Lexi here and there throughout the seasons through flashbacks and through, all sorts of supernatural interference.
She is like an iconic character on the show for somebody who got killed off season 1.
Oh yeah, she's beloved. And then I think I should have expected this, but I wasn't, and I gasped when it happened in the series finale. Stefan dies. He crosses over to whatever is out there, and he walks out of the school and sees Lexi leaning up against her car, just waiting for him.
So sweet.
And it's so perfect. And I was I think I cried at that moment.
Yeah.
I hadn't cried the rest of the season, but that got me. So yeah, Stefan and Lexi.
That's a really good one. I feel like they're a great example of a guy and a girl being best friends and it not being someone's in love with the other one and the other one doesn't know. Mm-hmm. There was none of that with them. And that was just so refreshing. And you really believed it. I did not want them to be together at all.
Right. I think that's why I liked them so much, because there was never a secret longing. It was no, they're friends and they're just friends.
Exactly. It was the perfect example of a guy and girl can be friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, because normally I don't believe it.
Maybe when they're vampires, it's different.
Yeah. Well, I do feel like it's they had hundreds of years, to kind of get to that point. So it's nice and you saw that in their friendship.
Yes.
They really brought that to the show, which I thought was really good. So that's a good one. I am kind of sad they're off the table.
Well,
sadness.
You've got another pick ahead of you.
I know. All right. Let's get serious now. All right. For my next pick, I'm going to draft Brooke and Haley from One Tree Hill.
They were literally next on my list.
Okay, well, no offense. I'm glad I beat you to it.
We both had them at number 3.
I love this friendship because I love that they kind of went from enemies to best friends. Mm-hmm. I mean, they really don't even have scenes together in season 1. They're kind of more at each other's throat, maybe a little bit. And not even that. They're not even on each other's radar that much. They just really don't, they think they have nothing in common. And it's not really until season 3 where we see Brooke, bring Haley in and they become roommates. And we really see their dynamic together, which is so funny. Mm-hmm. Tutor girl and head cheerleader living together.
I
just
love it.
Endless comedy, honestly. And I love that, they remained best friends till the end of the show.
Yeah.
And it was so unexpected.
I know.
I mean, you really did not see that coming. And I just think that those who had such good chemistry together, and it was such a breath of fresh air after all the Brooke and Peyton drama. And just it was fun to see them become friends more, a few seasons in. They didn't have a history together. We really saw them more build this friendship, which we don't get a lot of times in these shows. So that was really fun.
Yeah, no, I love them. I think that you see that too in the when Brooke gets married.
Yeah.
And she's asking Haley to be her maid of honor, and she's like, why not Peyton? And she's like, Peyton and I Peyton's not here, and
right.
you are.
Yeah.
And so their friendship sort of almost surpasses it.
It does. I know. It's we hate to say that. We don't want to be rude to the history, but it is
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Brooke and Haley were just better friends to each other.
Yes.
They really kind of like supported each other. I mean, Brooke made Haley's wedding dress. Haley was Brooke's maid of honor. They were both each other's maid of honor.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought like once they kind of became friends on the show, it was like clear like you could not take that away, and we just kind of needed to see like a fun, healthy female friendship on that show. And they never fought over a boy, so that was nice.
Yes.
We're not talking about the sex tape. In
Oh,
season
no,
4,
no.
Okay?
They
weren't fighting over the boy.
That plot line is best forgotten.
We erased that plot line
Yeah.
from our memories.
All right. Well, that was a tough blow for me.
I'm sorry about that.
That's
I had
okay.
a feeling that was going to be
That's
on your
okay.
list because it's like, really, who's putting Brooke and Peyton on here?
No. Yeah, you
So
can't.
Brooke is now off the table, though.
Right.
We can't put her. Well, you can't pick her with Peyton now.
I mean, I wasn't gonna,
weren't-
but
if somebody would pick that would
I'd
be a
like,
little
did you watch the
wild.
show?
Anyways.
All right, so I'm going to have to move on to my next pairing. I'm going to go Seth and Ryan from the OC.
Oh, good one. I love that.
These-
Wow, I should have put that on my list. That's
you didn't
such a good one.
These two fall underneath an unlikely pairing.
Yes, which we love.
We love. Seth is, dorky, has no friends, into nerdy shit. And Ryan is like strong, silent type who likes to punch people. And they get thrown together in the Cohen household and become best friends and sort of like brothers. I love that, like, they're always there for each other. They know each other so well that they can sort of anticipate what the other one's going to do. But then we don't see them hug. Like, and that's like a point in the show that like they don't really hug until the finale. But they're still like, they care so much about each other, and you can see it because they're raised as brothers basically. I love that, like, Seth makes Ryan like a little bit lighter, a little funnier. He's like, he's kind of poking him. He's like, you don't have to be so serious all the time. Like he'll make jokes and like make fun of him in a way that like other people don't. And he sort of softens him up a bit. So yeah.
Well, I feel like we really see that in the episode with the opening of Yoga Lattes, and Seth is trying to like fake sick. And then Ryan's like, maybe you have the summer flu. Like
Yes.
maybe you need some antibiotics. And it's like kind of like earlier on in season 1. And I feel like that is kind of like the first time where we're really seeing like Ryan being funny.
Yes.
And it's like clear then that like Seth has had like an effect on him.
Yeah.
So I like just always think about that scene because I think it's like just so funny, and you just kind of see that like in that moment you really do see how they have both like changed each other. I mean, Seth has all this like women drama, like which he probably maybe wouldn't have had if Ryan never came. So that scene with them I love.
Yeah. Ryan gives him confidence.
Yes.
Which is he desperately needs at the beginning of the show.
Confidence, Cohen. There you go. Line from Anna, not Ryan, but we still love to say
Yes,
it.
we
Put
do.
it on a t-shirt. Okay, so for my next pick, I'm going to keep it in the OC family.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Marissa and Summer.
All right.
Well, one, I feel like I have a bit in common, especially with Summer Roberts. I mean, in her words, I like shopping, tanning, and celebrity gossip. So I got to have Summer at my lunch table. But I feel like with Summer and Marissa, I mean, Marissa goes through a lot in this show. And Summer is always there for her. And I feel like there are moments, like, especially in season 1, when we see that, people are kind of starting to talk about Marissa with like the overdose in Tijuana. Like Summer really like leaves those girls behind to stay, loyal and friends with Marissa. And I feel like that just shows like how kind of like deep their friendship was when you maybe thought it was a little bit more like surface level. I just think Summer like showed up for Marissa time and time again. And I feel like they're a fun duo. They can take me to South Coast Plaza any day.
Yes.
Take me to the Paul Frank sale.
Oh my God.
I'm skipping school to go to the Paul Frank sale with those two.
I think it's fun that we each picked an OC pairing, So we've got, between the two of us, Marissa and Summer and Seth and Ryan at our respective lunch tables. So if we ever want to, merge and do a giant group hangout, they can all be with their partners.
That's true. The core four is gone. Like, we picked all the main characters from the OC.
I mean, those friendships are just really memorable.
I feel like I had to pick them for my, 13-year-old self.
Yeah.
Who wanted to be friends with
Summer and Marissa.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to go now to another all-female duo. And
We finally got to the females.
I know. But I'm going to pick Maeve and Amy from Sex Education.
Oh, that's a good one. They're such a good friendship.
In season 1, Amy is sort of hiding the friendship because she's trying to be cool. She's trying to be popular and hang out with Olivia and Ruby. And Maeve, instead of being insulted, is just kind of like, I get it. She is sort of like, you do what you got to do. This is something that you want. And she doesn't judge her for it. She sort of understands where Amy's coming from, why she feels this way, and is like, I'll still be your friend, even if we're not hanging out publicly together. And then at the end of it, Amy's like, fuck this. Maeve's my friend. She's my only real friend. She chooses Maeve. We've talked about the bus scene and the way that all the girls, but Maeve in particular, shows up for Amy in the aftermath of this traumatic event. And they really support each other all the way through the end of the series when Maeve is sort of dealing with losing her mother. Amy is showing up and trying to help and trying to do everything she can, even though she doesn't really know what to do. She is interested in Isaac, but is very careful to not cross that boundary. She, unlike many other characters on these shows, she thinks ahead and she talks to Maeve about it and is like, I'm not going to do anything to upset the friendship. Whereas on other shows,
you don't get that.
She's just kissing the man and, not really thinking about the consequences. So, yeah.
What I like about that friendship, though, too, is we see both of them supporting each other. And I think a lot of times it's if one is maybe a little bit more of a main character than the other, we're really only seeing the one friend supportive of the other. But I feel with those two, we really saw both of them step up and be there in really traumatic moments. And I just thought that was really beautiful in their friendship.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. I'm sad that they're off the table.
All right. You got one more.
That's it? I only have one more?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I got to think about this. This is really difficult.
Do you want a recap of who you have?
Yeah, recap who I have.
Okay, so you currently have the Pogues, John B., JJ, Pope from Outer Banks, Jack and Jen from Dawson's Creek, Brooke and Haley from One Tree Hill, and Marissa and Summer from the OC.
That's a fun lunch table
a good
that I got. So, all right, I just got to round it out. All right, I know who I'm going to pick. My last draft pick of best friends, I'm going to go with Rory and Lane from Gilmore Girls.
All right.
I like that they have a very long-standing friendship, and I like that they, were able to go their separate ways and still remain best friends. They're not on the same path. Rory's going to Yale, Lane is staying in Stars Hollow, doing the whole band thing. So it's very different trajectories, but they are able to remain friends. And I think that that's really difficult.
Yeah.
So I always liked that about their friendship. And I feel they had they had stuff in common, but they were also really different. And I feel they appreciated their differences and just really supported each other and were always there for each other. It's not Rory was what? You're pregnant with twins? I'm out of here. I would have done that. So I just feel that was a really good example of a friendship that kind of withstood those life challenges.
Yeah.
That's hard to break through.
Yeah, it's hard to maintain when you're on such different trajectories in life. And they do a good job of keeping it together. So
yeah, I like that loyalty. I appreciate
yes,
that.
Excellent pick.
Yeah, thank you.
No
All
problem.
Right. Your last pick, Claire.
I know.
Shall we recap Claire's current table?
Please and thank you.
All right. She's got Scott and Styles from Teen Wolf, Stefan and Lexi from the Vampire Diaries, Seth and Ryan from the OC, Maeve and Amy from Sex Education.
Okay.
Who's it gonna be?
So I've thought a lot about this, and I'm gonna go with the Scooby Gang from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is what they refer to themselves. I've created.
This is her Pogues.
It is my Pogues. It's a
Me
group.
typing these notes, I'm like, okay, I will
So
write
it's-
down Scooby
Okay,
Gang.
That's
I'm
what they
sorry,
call
I really thought she was picking like Scooby Doo, like the Velma.
Can we have them?
Oh,
They're in
Velma
high
and
school,
all
right?
them. Like that's who I thought she was picking.
I forgot that you guys don't watch the show, and so you don't know what I mean when I say the Scooby Gang.
Claire is always gonna pick one that we like don't know. It's classic. All right, tell us about the Scooby Gang.
The Scooby Gang is the group of teens from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So in my brain, it changes over the years, but I'm going with Buffy, of course, Willow, Xander, and if we're keeping it to the high school years, Cordelia. So those four little foursome are, fighting the apocalypse every other week. They're dating, they're breaking up, they're fighting,
Well, it sounds like they'll save you, so that's always
Exactly. So like if things go down, like you want them nearby.
Are they dating each other? Because that's off the table.
No, none of them ever. None of them ever date each other.
Okay.
There is like one has a crush on someone else, but they never date.
Oh, that's fine. Then we'll allow it.
Approved.
Well, actually, now that I say that, I've forgotten about a relationship that ends. It's messy.
It's fine.
I mean, listen, they're not, it's not end game.
It's not end game.
None of those relationships. None of the relationships are end game. Okay.
Then we'll take it.
Thank you. It's a group.
Approved.
None of them are end game romantic relationships. So.
Well, they sound fun. I want to be in the Scooby Gang now.
Yeah. You want to fight the vampires?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Who were you like almost going to pick? Like who was an honorable mention?
So if I wasn't gonna pick the Scooby Gang, I was gonna go with Damon and Bonnie, but I feel like
That's a
I already
good
had a
one.
Vampire Diaries pick. So then I was like, I love that they are sort of enemies. Not enemies, but they
Yeah.
don't like each other. Like they really don't like each other until they're, sent to what's the alternate world? They get sent into the whatever that world is called. I forget. But
Kind of like the upside down, but not. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
there's a
I
word-
know. I can't remember what it's called.
yeah,
either.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And
where they're like living the same day over and over again.
Right. They live in the same day in 1990, whatever, and
Yeah.
they meet Kai. Like they become friends in that scenario, and then when they come back to like the real world, they're still besties.
I love them because it's such an unexpected pairing.
Yes.
Like I think it's the most unexpected pairing that's like ever existed in these shows
Yeah.
of friendship. And it doesn't happen until season 6. Like it's
Yes.
so late in the game and you think that these two will never be close, they'll never like each other that much. And then like the friendship wouldn't actually make sense. Like they do it in a way that doesn't feel forced. And they have such great chemistry together as friends. It's so fun to watch them together. And it was so fun to watch them change and become friends and be on the same team with each other.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they used to kind of fight and be on different sides.
Right.
And then to see them more joined together, you're like, these two are strong. They could literally save everybody here.
Yeah. I love Damon
They
and
can
Bonnie.
save you.
Yes. It's a prison world is the word I was looking for, I believe.
Prison world.
And
yeah,
the
that
Ascendant,
is what it is.
right? That's the thing that
Yes,
sends them
it
to the prison
is.
world.
I forgot the Ascendant. That's what they
Yes.
need.
All of season 6 was them trying to find the damn Ascendant. It was a whole lot of stuff. But yeah, Damon and Bonnie. What about you? Who was your your runner-up?
An honorable mention for me, I was very close to picking Blair and Serena.
Really?
I know. I feel like that's controversial.
Okay.
I honestly do just feel like, though, their friendship is, kind of realistic, for
Yeah.
high school in that sense of, you've been friends for so long, that jealousy is kind of, really peeking out, as you get older. Your frenemies one day, your best friends the next. I know there's this, very, a dramatic version of that. But I just feel like those underlying feelings there are very real. And I do feel like at the end of the day, they really did always support each other. And come back together. It was very easy for them to probably just like stop being friends and
Yeah.
never be friends again and say goodbye. But they did keep like fighting for each other and for the friendship, no matter like how crazy things got. And they got pretty crazy in Gossip
they sure
Girl.
did.
So.
Also fun to watch. Like,
Yes, very fun
Yeah.
to watch. Yeah. I mean, we just also like we like never really like saw a friendship like that, I feel like in one of these shows of like that kind of like more frenemy and like competitive and we're friends one minute, not the next.
Yeah.
Like I just thought it would like their friendship is so interesting.
You're right. More openly, like sort of hostile.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't really get
exactly.
that.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
feel like sometimes like that's how it can be when you're like 16.
Oh, yeah.
So I always appreciated that, the representation of that. But yeah, so that I was very close to picking them, and I was like, let me go, with Rory and Lane. The two who like never fought.
Yeah.
But kind of boring,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you got a nice mix.
You know who I think is like kind of a good example of like a mixture, like in the middle of like Rory and Lane and Blair and Serena? Belly and Taylor.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they're just like a really good example of like, they're not like frenemies ever.
No.
But like, they do go through things like together from being friends for so long. And they really more learned how to like communicate together and really like support each other and be there for each other. But like, they definitely like, there was, I feel like, a little bit of like jealousy like between the two of them.
Yeah.
And like not as far obviously as like Blair and Serena and not frenemies, but just like some issues that they went through, but they, were able to work it out. But I feel like that's like a really good example of like a solid like female friendship to watch.
Yeah, I think, season 1 we see like Belly's obsessed with the two brothers and Taylor's like over it. She's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, like I'm your friend. I came here for you. Like what are you doing?" And then she goes and kisses Belly's brother and that's kind of awkward, but yeah, they work through it. And by
Yeah.
season 2 they are rooting for each other, firmly in each other's corners. Yeah.
I know. It's nice to see them like really support each other in season 2 and like them not really have drama. Not like they had that much in season 1, but I thought like the drama they did have was interesting too, of like where Taylor's like, I'm tired of it always being about you. Where like
Yeah.
Belly's like, but I'm more the wallflower. And Taylor's like, we're always talking about you and these
Yeah.
brothers.
Yeah.
So let me make out with your brother.
She wants a brother too.
Yeah, exactly. Let her have a brother. Justice for Taylor. Everyone needs a brother. All right. We're getting wackadoo.
it's late.
All right, so let's reveal who all was at our lunch tables. Let's see who has the more fun lunch table.
Okay. All right. So Jillian's lunch table is the Pogues, John B. J.J. Pope from the Outer Banks, Jack and Jen from Dawson's Creek, Brooke and Haley from One Tree Hill, Marissa and Summer from the OC, and Rory and Lane from Gilmore Girls.
Solid group. Solid
Good
group.
Love it.
Yeah.
And Claire has Scott and Styles from Teen Wolf, Stefan and Lexi from Vampire Diaries, Seth and Ryan from the OC, Maeve and Amy from Sex Education, and Scooby Gang from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I feel like you have a little bit more of like an emo table.
I do. I have like some sad boys at my
A
table.
lot of boys.
I know. I wasn't going for that. I wasn't
Oh.
trying to create that, but that's just I guess where my heart is
Yeah,
when I'm talking teen dramas.
You have like the emo kids at your table.
I
do. I feel like I have like some wild ones at
You
mine.
because I
Bit
think
of
like
a
you're like I
mixture.
want to party. Like you've got some fun people. You're
Not
like
really Rory and Lane.
No,
Well,
no.
I was like, we need somebody to balance out
ground
the
it.
table. Yeah, we need
Yeah.
somebody. I need somebody who's going to do my homework.
And I've got, you know what we're doing at my table? We are like fighting literal demons. Like I got a lot of
yeah, you do.
I'm
You
like,
do
let's
have a lot of
let's exciting. Like the
supernatural.
Pogues are you're exciting. Like let's go on a boat, and I'm
Yeah.
like let's fight the devil. Like
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like on a boat party. Claire is like fighting demons. That makes sense for
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
We stuck with our personalities.
I know we were true to ourselves in this.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
You all both picked at least one group or best friend couple from like a newer show too, which I was going to force you to do if you didn't.
Oh.
So
I came out the bat.
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And those were fun honorable mentions too. It was
Yeah.
hard to pick just 5, so
Yeah.
we had to throw out some love to some of these other ones.
know.
Mainly because I was kind of regretting the Rory and Lane thing. But again,
whoa.
I need somebody to do my homework while I'm on the boat with the pose. Rory's got to bail me out.
Yeah. No, she stole the boat herself. She knows how to have a good time.
Rory's on the boat with us.
Yes.
Lane's pregnant.
Oh my God.
All right.
Lane's
well,
praying for like mercy in the corner.
This is getting a little wacky.
Yeah.
You know, Claire, I would draft you for my lunch table.
Oh, thanks. I draft you too.
Thank you.
We'd be a fun duo
We
if someone
would.
wanted to draft us.
That we would be fun.
Yeah.
So draft us at home. All right, we did it.
Yes.
We both picked great lunch tables. Very true to ourselves. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We love a draft over here at Previously on Teen
I
TV.
know. We love to get competitive about things.
We do. So please check out our other draft episodes as well. You can check those out on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yep, and while you're there, don't forget to follow us, rate and review us. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at previously on _Teen TV.
Thanks for listening.